Namaste, Capricorn. This is your biweekly reading for the period of, well, the 16th through the 31st, although today is the 17th when I'm recording this. Welcome, and we're going to get right into it. We're beginning with Major Arcana card 18, the Moon, which most directly represents the sign of Pisces, and in a general sense is about the real necessity of paying attention to one's intuition. Right now, Neptune, which is the planet that rules the sign of Pisces, is currently located in Pisces retrograde. So more so than maybe other times, things are not necessarily as they appear. There's a lot of illusion. You may get more clear messages in your dream state when you're sleeping than even when you're awake and walking around and being observant. So definitely it's important that you pay attention to your intuition. If you're not that you should walk around like paranoid or distrustful of people or things, but just keeping in mind that things possibly aren't what they seem. So go with that gut feeling, that first inclination that you get about something. Alternatively, again, the moon represents the sign of Pisces in the tarot. So a Pisces may be particularly significant to you. Also upright immediately behind the moon is the Page of Swords. So this could be another character perhaps in your life that is significant, meaningful during this period. A Gemini, Libra, or Aquarius, or someone likened to those traits or attributes. But possibly, more importantly to you, is the fact that pages bring news. And this one, the Page of Swords, brings news of some sort of information. So it could be some sort of matter being cleared up. You're getting some sort of information, some sort of maybe written communication, letter, something posted on the net. It could be a verbal communication as well. And I think for some of you, it's about a job, because also upright immediately behind the Page of Swords is the Page of Wands. And the Page of Wands, well, wands and the element of fire itself, both are about action and movement. So travel, could be news of travel or moving forward in your life. So like moving up maybe in terms of your job, new jobs, promotions, traveling for your job for the purposes of work. And speaking of traveling, I normally wouldn't mention the next card because it's in reverse, but it's the Six of Swords, and it can definitely be about actual movement and travel. And where it's not about literal movement, then it's about metaphoric movement and travels, and never backwards. It's always about something positive movement forward. So that is a good card for you too. So far, we're off to a good start. Opening to the Queen of Wands. So another potential character for you guys, an Aries, Leo, or Sagittarius, or someone likened to those traits or attributes, possibly like an older woman, a mature woman, maybe 35 and up. Opposite her, the Nine of Cups. So maybe she is somebody about whom you've prayed or wished, dreamed in a positive sense, and you're getting a yes from the universe and from the minor arcana. Nine of Cups is similar to Major Arcana card 17, the Star, is about prayers being answered, wishes being granted, and dreams coming true. And opening to Major Arcana card 5, the Hierophant, so the High Priest, basically. He is a Taurus, most directly. Card of spirituality, also a card of traditional like values and doing the right thing, whatever that means. Maybe I'll stop here. The last one, the Four of Wands. So the Four of Wands in reverse is still the Four of Wands. It's one of those cards where it doesn't really much matter that it's in reverse. It's still about joy, contentment, peace, being happy in your skin and in your home. It's about household, family, commitment, up to and including even marriage, which the Hierophant we saw immediately before it can also be about. Look, the Page of Swords. Is that the Page of Swords again? Sticking up? Yeah. So Page of Swords again. But our new overall energy is the Queen of Swords. She's an Aquarius, Libra, or Gemini, or someone likened to those traits or attributes. She's your overall energy. I'm glad she's upright because she's not so nice necessarily in reverse. We were just talking about cards that are the same, whether they're upright or reversed. The Queen of Swords isn't necessarily one of them. So now we're going to look at 4 cards in particular. One that is going to most directly represent your energy over the next 2 weeks or 15 days, whatever it is. Yeah, that's 2 weeks. So that's this one. And it's the moon again. Isn't that funny? You saw me shuffle and cut, you know. So it's the moon again. What can I say? Again, the moon represents the sign of Pisces. All about your need to definitely pay attention to your intuition and to not necessarily trust something on face value. You know, if your gut tells you something different about it, go with that. Surrounding you, maybe close friends, family, people with whom you work. Major Arcana card, Death in reverse. And actually, the sign before you, Sagittarius, just had Death in this same exact placement, but theirs was upright. Work and finance, the Queen of Cups in reverse. And lastly, love and relationship, the Queen of Pentacles. This is your energy, Capricorn, upright. You know what's also interesting? Also the last reading, so Sagittarius, from different decks, this is the Rider-Waite Tarot, but I have 2 other tarot decks with which I'm working. And from those decks, the Queen of Cups and the Queen of Pentacles fell out of the deck together. And I said it could be something about like a same-sex relationship. And now we have them not necessarily together, but facing one another. If she was upright, her back would be turned to the other queen. But because she's in reverse, they're facing one another. And she looks to be offering her. This is supposed to be like the Ark of the Covenant. When the card is upright, and you can see there's the angels at the end. To me, it always looks like a scorpion, but it's the Ark of the Covenant. And it's like she's extending that, maybe offering that, and she's offering her pentacle. So, I don't know, maybe somebody with water, earth, and fire, specifically Sagittarius, and specifically Capricorn. Something about a same-sex relationship. Feminine on feminine and or woman on woman. All right, aside from that, let's get into your cards in general for everyone. I'm thinking, I mean, there's a few women and or feminine energies here. So right off the bat, I'm going to say there's the potential for something catty or you know, petty, dramatic to be going on. Somebody's emotions involved, whether this is a romantic situation of you know, women together, or something else. Somebody's feelings are, somebody's in their feelings, I'll put it that way, about something. But let's see what else we get. So beginning with the your overall energy of the Queen of Swords. I talked about your instincts with this moon card, which is the card most representative of your energy during this period. And when the Queen of Swords shows up upright, she says that your instincts are serving you very, very well. So what you're doing in terms of paying attention to your intuition and maybe other information that you have available to you, you know, your intellect, your wisdom, signs, synchronicities that you're paying close attention to, your dreams, maybe you're even writing them down and taking note of what you see there. It's serving you well to do all those things. And it's like you already know what you want, what you need, how to go after it, how to manifest it. The only thing that the Queen of Swords needs to be particularly careful about is with the amount of force with which she pursues something. Sometimes she can be too forceful, too pushy, and come off abrasive or, like overly aggressive. So that's the only thing you want to be mindful of, and like, don't be respectful of other people's boundaries. Let me put it that way. But other than that, Queen of Swords, very good card to have, and she is like an ace, an expert at not only communication and being clear about saying what she meaning what she says. She's also very, very good at, because we have this trait of detachment, I think, we're very, very good at separating ourselves from things that do not serve us well. So if you need to do that, you need to divorce yourself from something or someone, the energy of the Queen of Swords being your overall energy will be very helpful to you in that regard. And I'm just going to say, like in every aspect of your life, what I described to you about the Queen of Swords and being mindful of other people's boundaries and not overstepping them, apply that same thing there. So the same would go in your romantic relationships. Queen of Swords, very attractive to people usually. She's smart and independent, but knows how to be interdependent too and work with a mate. And she's, like got it going on and stuff, but she can be a little bit much. If she starts to go overboard, she can, and then you push people away. So just be careful about that. We talked about the moon, I think, plenty because it was your overall energy before. So let's move on to Major Arcana card Death in reverse in this position of your surrounding energy. So again, your close friends, family, maybe co-workers, energy and people that are surrounding you. So death is about change and transition and transformation. And when it's in reverse, it actually is better than upright, if there is such thing as a better, because it indicates that the change is not necessarily going to be like as intense and sweeping maybe as when the card is up, when the card appears upright. It still is important to say, like, this change, you need to think about it in terms of like transition. This is not about like destruction and upheaval. This is, we're exiting an energy, a phase, maybe going through a portal. We can think about it like that, and coming out the other side into a time of newness and or renewal and fresh energy. All right. Definitely when one door closes, another one opens applies here with this death card. So in terms of work, you could be dealing with something. There's something funky going on, some sort of unhappiness, dissatisfaction in your work life. And with the Queen of Cups in reverse, in the position of work and finance, I don't think it's an accident that both of these are reversed. The Queen of Cups most directly is a Scorpio in the tarot, because the Queen is representative of the fixed sign of a given element, and the fixed sign of the element of water is Scorpio. So very possibly a Scorpio female at your job, or, who is impactful somehow upon your work, whether she's a client, a vendor, a co-worker that is lateral to you, or a subordinate, or a supervisory, your boss, whatever. She is somebody who used to come across as very, very, kind, helpful, loving, understanding, and through whatever the hell happened, all of a sudden this woman has morphed into like a wacko, a control freak. She went from loving to like maybe even untrustworthy. You used to be able to confide in her and she would respond in a loving and compassionate way. Maybe now you can't even trust her. She's judgmental, gossipy, runs her mouth. And really the best way to deal with her and to handle her is to try to watch her boundaries, be considerate of her feelings. I know it might be hard because she's like a royal bitch at this point, but try. And don't tell her anything. Queen of Swords, tight-lipped, like the High Priestess, tight-lipped. Don't tell her anything that you wouldn't mind or want being shared like with everyone. Alternatively, it might not seem that something can go from what I just described like that to positive, but alternatively, if you're somebody seeking work, then the Queen of Swords in reverse says that there may be a woman let's add and or feminine energy who could be particularly helpful to you now in finding a job, so there's that positive spin on it, an aspect on it. But I do think something could be going on. And you know what? We got to take into consideration again the moon. So we pop back to the moon because, like I said, something may not be what it seems when the moon shows up. And particularly at work, something could be very, very unclear. Coworkers need to pay extra attention to each other, or put an extra effort into understanding each other correctly. Patience is necessary. It's important to try to stay calm and not pop off, being defensive, feeling like you're being attacked. Get clear on what's being said. Try to give people the benefit of the doubt. So it's possible that because we haven't done that, or somebody hasn't done that to us, there's become some sort of funky situation, again, maybe among women or feminine energies in an office or workplace, or somehow these characters, come into contact with each other one way or another, having to do with work. In terms of finances specifically, maybe separate and apart from work, also, she, similar to the Queen of Swords, so you got to take this also into additional consideration. She warns us about being too aggressive financially. So maybe you're wanting to make some sort of investment or something. It's better to do so in a conservative manner, a cautious manner, rather than, risking too much, getting into a risky market, an overly aggressive market. You want to consider a moderate market. Now the financial, advisor and such is coming out of me. So maybe you want to invest in cash, like money market. That may be your safest bet right now, rather than stocks, perhaps. Just giving you some advice. Or some examples of what I'm talking about in this regard. Definitely don't gamble or loan. Maybe that's what this is about too. I said she's handing her a pentacle, and she's handing her a cup. Maybe it's like a cup, like when people look for donations and stuff, and they ask for money, like on the street and donations, they hold a cup out and you put your pentacle in. So that could be something too, and maybe why there's, like I said, some sort of confusion, pettiness, a falling out between these people because money was asked to be loaned or something. Definitely don't gamble or loan more than you can afford to lose. If you need it, to pay your own bills or to pay your own rent, then you don't have it. And you got to say, I cannot help. It's possible right now also that with regard to money, you can't necessarily trust everyone around you. And I may be getting that again from this same person. I'm not sure. But it's important to, again, be mindful and thoughtful. Put some thought into it, into where you place your trust and with whom. And if it's yourself that you can't trust, like if you can't control your own behavior with money and or gambling, then this is the week to get help, you know, to look into that, to do some self-assessment and acknowledgement, and, you know, seek some sort of help and support in that area. All right, so moving on to love and relationships. This is your own energy, as well as that of Taurus and Virgo, of course. In addition, there are several signs, including Scorpio's ruler, Pluto, retrograde in your sign. Several planets, rather, retrograde in your sign. One is your own ruler, Saturn. The other, again, is Pluto. And lastly, Sagittarius's ruler, Jupiter. So maybe that's why you guys have some similar energy too. Like I said, the reading before yours. Jupiter also located in your sign currently. And all three are retrograde as well. So the Queen of Pentacles is a super feminine card. Very nurturing, compassionate energy. Grounded. Thoughtful, likes to handle conflict like in a thoughtful and compassionate manner, you know, taking people's feelings into consideration. And in this placement, whether single, right, whether we're single or we're couple, this very feminine energy calls upon us to make use of the feminine energy, in looking for a mate, right, to draw upon our strengths in terms of our femininity, and in treating our mate, you know, particularly well, maybe over this next couple weeks, 14 days, we're use this nurturing feminine energy. And you've got it like bookend, because the moon is also representative of feminine energy and that like mother and nurturing sort of energy. So you got it in the front and you got it at the back. You're definitely like overflowing with it and guided to use it. And the 18th is, there actually is a new moon. It's the new moon in Leo, and maybe more so than just the fact that you know, it's a major transit for us all, and so we're all moving into this energy of newness under the sign of Leo. It's possible the 18th could be something for you. Maybe that's the day that this stuff blows up. I'm just getting that the 18th could actually be something for you. And you know, sometimes when there's a major moon transit, even a new moon, which is a positive thing, stuff can sometimes go wacky and pop off. I want to look now, at least for your advice cards, some other additional cards for you. So let's do that. So in that regard, we're going to begin with the Seven of Wands. And that's another card that popped up more than once for the Sages. Seven of Wands. And the next card is your energy, but it's in reverse. The Ace of Pentacles, the inflow of abundance, a promising business venture, and important documents or contracts. So that could be later. It's possible that it's delayed. And I see that Strength, Major Arcana card Strength, is right underneath it. Of course, Strength represents the sign of Leo. And again, that's where the new moon is. So maybe that's what I was feeling, like this abundance is coming for you. Could be just delayed by a few days. Maybe with the energy of the new moon is with what this abundance comes in. Also, maybe decisions about money. This could be tied to the investments and stuff that I was talking about. When you make a decision, stick to it, stick to your ground, and don't let anybody else, outside influences change your mind about what it is you've decided. And if something does pop off that's funky in terms of, whatever this is that we're seeing and picking up on, you decide when you want to give someone or something your energy or not. Not all battles are worth fighting, so you'll decide when to walk away as well. And maybe that could be another reason why potentially the Seven of Fire is paired with the Ace of Earth, because maybe, or the Pentacles, because maybe this has something to do with work, and this is this decision. You want to fight this battle, or you want to walk away from it, or see if we can fix it another way. Further to that, in terms of advice, let's see what we got. So from the Animal Tarot to those of you who identify as a masculine archetype, the Ace of Swords. Implementation of your brilliant new idea may get off to a rocky start, but keep going. The challenges will help you to refine your plan and to reshape your goals into something even better. Multiple aces have positive meanings on their own, in addition to whatever they represent based on their element. Like just more than one ace in general in a tarot reading can mean moving, like a new home, cohabitation perhaps with a partner in terms of love. Definitely like more impact, strengthened possibility that you're going to actually experience this energy, all of that. For those of you who identify as a feminine, the 10 of Spring, 10 of Wands. You're working far too hard, and the stress will soon become too much. This could be, again, something at work is off, and that can be stressful. Reach out for help from others, and take some time for play and to enjoy life. So maybe that's when you walk away from a situation and you don't fight it, or maybe after work you take some time out, have a drink, relax, and leave whatever went on there at the job. Don't take it home with you. This can be interpreted a few ways. This is also a card of like being too successful sometimes. Like we're just so on top of everything that it's like eventually you're carrying everyone's burdens. Like maybe if there is a situation where this person is asking for money, it's like, I'm always the person that everybody asks for money. I'm always the person that's helping, I don't have, who do I have to look to? So that's why you feel like you're carrying the world on your shoulders. If that's the case, definitely take a break if you're able. Have some fun. Masculine, there's something of which you need to let go. And again, that's what death means too. It means that, something needs to cease to exist in the manner that it does or has, and maybe completely. Maybe it's an energy, a relationship, a circumstance, some situation, something needs to just stop existing in that way. And when the Four of Pentacles shows up, it's an indication that the reason it hasn't yet is probably because we're holding on to something. We're limiting ourselves by, keeping this energy near, maybe because it's familiar. It's like the devil, it's convenient. We're afraid to move into the future, but allow the change to just happen organically. Allow yourself to go with the flow. All this water energy, right? Water is about flow, and allow yourself to just move with it. The universe wants to change you, wants to take something, people, places, things out of your life that are not conducive to your growth. Let them go. Again, that's what the Queen of Swords is really good at, right? Yeah. And lastly, for the feminine, more water energy. Major Arcana card 12, or the Awakening, or the Hanged Man, which also represents the sign of Pisces. Look at things from a different perspective. You're at a temporary standstill, so you may feel like nothing's moving, nothing's changing, nothing's happening, but that's not true. And soon enough, you'll feel like things have picked up anyway, so don't worry about it. It's important to be yourself in the meantime. That means what? acknowledging, again, what it is you want, and maybe figuring out, planning how to go about getting it. Again, Queen of Swords. I didn't mention these other cards. Well, it's only one other card that's up right behind her, the Eight of Wands. This is about movement, things happening. Could be about communications coming into you, going out from you, even packages and things arriving in the mail. That's something you've been looking forward to, perhaps. And I'm just going to mention the next card too, because it's another Seven of Wands. So again, stand your ground in terms of any decisions that you're making. Don't let anybody push you around, or outside influences change your mind unless you want to change your mind. And you don't let anybody make you feel like you're forced to fight any battles that you don't want to fight either. Hope you've enjoyed your reading. If you have, please do give it a thumbs up, comment, share, subscribe by hitting both the subscribe button and the bell button. If you're already a subscriber, especially if you haven't seen any notifications from me, please do make sure that you still are one, because YouTube has been like dropping off my subscribers without their knowledge. And hit the subscribe button again and the bell button again if you are no longer subscribed. I do appreciate it. And I'll be back with you soon. Check out your sun, moon, and rising sign readings. Namaste.